because it always feels like karaoke to me and I suck. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yes.
Okay, because I mean, there's so much things on my mind, so many. And in coming here, it's everything I do has been a departure from my comfort zone. I was never really a traditional illustrator. I definitely am not a writer. And as an artist, if you guys know artists, we are mostly introverts. You know, that means I usually tell my mom, leave me alone so I can draw. For me to have to do this, it's one, to promote the books. I'm under the pressure to sell about 200 books today. If not, they will cut me from the publishing deal. And also to let you guys know why it is so important to get out of the comfort zone. You know, after a certain age, your parents tell you to move out. It's not because they hate you. It's because they want you to be your own person. Believe it or not, I did not have this fantastic speech written. I shouldn't even be holding paper because then you will see that my hands are shaking as well. The thing is, let me hide my hands. The thing is, my story is going to be either really good or really, really shit. Because first of all, I did not prepare for the speech. Secondly, you guys are all staring at me, and third, because I did so much stuff. Like, it is not easy to have a story that ties everything together. Because I worked on animation, I worked on clubs, and then I wrote a book. You know, like technically that's 3 different careers right there. So, pardon me if the story feels like, oh, it's broken, it's not cohesive, but that's just the nature of things. So, okay, I'll start off with my job at Blizzard. I was initially, when I decided to go overseas to study, it was because I failed everything. Like I am a D-class student, is what it is. You know, at that time I was studying in Singapore, and where's Joanna? See, a mic. You don't need a mic. Okay. So initially that's my train of thought right there. So initially I was studying in Singapore and I failed everything, and because of that, they say, okay, this guy can't really do anything good, so we should just put him in arts. Which is great, because that's always been a thing I wanted to do. But my parents were supportive, but my relatives weren't. You know, so my first choice was always doctor, and then second choice was a scientist, which sounds fantastic on paper, but the jobs I realized that I have now is like the most fun job I ever had. You know, like I think those two will really bore me. Not to say that you guys shouldn't pursue it, but in the end, I mean, after this talk, hopefully, if anything, you pick out that following your passion is most important. Anyway, so I went into art, okay, because I failed everything, like I said, and it was the first time in my life where I actually got A's, you know, without even trying. You know that you are in a course of life when you start doing well even without trying. This goes with everything. This goes with finding a job. You know, if you wake up on a Monday hoping that it's a Sunday, you probably don't like what you do. But that never happened to me when I was working at Blizzard. It was like, Sunday, let's go to work. Saturday, we'll go to work as well. Every day was just party. You know, you didn't have to. I didn't have to treat it as a 9 to 5. I just treated it as I'm going to hang out with my friends and then we're going to have a blast. You know. So anyway, in my second year at school, the country fell into economic depression. This was back in 1997, and so a lot of students started leaving the States. You know, and if you live in San Francisco, it's super expensive. It's It's actually, I think, top 2 most expensive cities in the world right now. No, in the States, sorry. So a lot of students started leaving, and then the States was like, holy shit, you know, we need to keep these students, you know. So they say, let's issue them working visas. And to me at the time, that was the opportunity to try to get a job, because usually you wait till the 4th year, and then you apply, and you kind of have like a 1-year waiver period of like, you know, work experience and all that stuff. But then 1 year really is, when you graduate, if you graduate with a bunch of students in the States, right, the chances of you actually finding work is really, really tough, because you're competing with all your students or your friends, and you're also under the pressure of looking for a job in 1 year. You know? A lot of my friends graduated and then started looking for work, didn't find work, and they're back home working with either their parents or working in some job that they didn't really like. So when I was given that opportunity, I told my mom that, okay, I am going to try to take minimal classes, meaning I'll do the least amount of courses that 6 months, and then I'll try to get a job. And within 6 months, if I don't get a job, I'll go back into full-time school. So then that 6 months, I just worked on my reel every day. A reel, this is odd term. A reel is this tape, back then you still had tapes, that you send out, and then they'll look at your animations and all that stuff. And if they think you're good, they will hire you. In the States, it's very different because they do not look at that piece of paper you have. It's not, the degree does not count. If you are good, they will take you right off the bat. You know, like Bill Gates never had a degree. Steve Jobs never had a degree. I like to think that I'm also great and I didn't have a degree, but I didn't. I needed a degree because it was necessary for me to obtain a green card there. Anyway, that's not to say that you guys should start quitting school right now. I will get into a lot of trouble if I say that. But I got my job there, and it was, going back maybe when I was about 13 or 14, I remember that there was a day when I sat in front of my computer playing Warcraft. And the name came up, Blizzard. You know, and I was like, Blizzard? I was so bad in school, I actually thought that Blizzard was some kind of lizard. Like I shit you not, like that's how terrible I am as a student. I was like, what is this? And then I thought, it would be kind of cool to make a game like this. Fast forward 10 years later, I got my job, and it was to work on Diablo. And on my first day at work, I went and I was filling out the forms and all that stuff, and I saw that they put me next to the trophy room, okay? So it's all the awards that the company won. And then that's when I saw Warcraft posters and awards and all that stuff, and I said, why do we have these things here? And I was like, I thought I was working on Diablo. So yeah, you're working on Diablo, but you also made Warcraft. And that hit me like I am the luckiest son of a bitch. Because I landed my dream job. You know? And I think that, like I said, I failed a lot to get to where I am. But I think when it came down to making the choice, obviously you still have choices. No matter how much you fail, you know, you can always choose between what you still want to study. And at that point, I made a choice to go for art. You know, even under the even under the thought that I am going to graduate and I'm going to be broke. You know, I think I followed just my heart. You know, like my gut feeling says go for it. And to be here today is insane, because if you told me that when I was 17 and really fat, you know, if someone came into my room, if my future self came into my room, right, and said, dude, it's okay, you know, you fail so much, it's okay, because one day you're going to stand in front of Taylor's College and give a speech about how great you are. I'll be like, this is bullshit. But I mean, this is what it is, you know. I think I followed my heart enough. When someone, I mean, I'll go into the Cubs later, but the Cubs also came because someone told me that when someone says no, I want to do it more. Which is kind of like a kid mentality. So it's not surprising that this book is actually pretty good, because it's all about being a kid. So that's my selling point. Anyway, working at Blizzard was fun. I was there for about 13 years. I started as an animator. Did everything on Diablo 2. Most of the animations on Diablo 2, maybe 40%. 40% of animations for one guy is a lot. And then on expansion, I probably did all the animations in it. And then on Diablo 3, I worked on Diablo 3, I did the least work because at that point, they made me the lead animator of the project. So all I did was very simple, it's just like, you do this. Everything that I didn't want to do, I got someone else to do. but then it was my work because when you are top, it's everything that someone else does for you is yours. So without further ado, I will show you guys a video of how
This space is priceless. As I walk in, your top page is like this.